What's going on, everyone? It's Stranjah. It's been a while since the last tutorial. I've been using Ableton for the last 6 or so years, moving from Cubase. When I saw the potential of Ableton and how easy it was to get down your ideas, I had to make the move. Basically, Ableton is like taking the middleman out of the equation between you and your ideas. Getting your ideas down in Ableton is really direct. And it's been a while since we did the last tutorial, so what better way to start than to do a little tutorial on amens with Ableton. So we're going to get right in there. I'm going to look for an amen in my sample browser. We'll just take a really basic amen here. What's really cool is these are preset RX2s or recycle files. Right. So in Ableton you can just right click on an RX2, slice to a new MIDI track, click OK. Each slice is put into its drum sampler. Just increase the BPM here. I'm just going to take one bar. I'm just going to take a basic amen sequence, one of my favorite sequences. Start with the last bar of the amen, the one with the bigger kick, for those that are seasoned with the amen. Okay. Basic amen there. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find a kick, a snare, and a hi-hat to layer over the amen. Status quo. Alright, just go into my kicks. Love the Thomas Penton sample kit. Usually has some pretty good kicks. We'll just throw a bunch in there, cycle them through and see what works best. Just looking for something thumpy with a decent decay on it, decent length. Kind of like how that sounded. Just find one more for good measure. That one's pretty cool. Has a nice thump to it. Nice low end. Okay. We're just gonna put it on the first kick. Right. That one sounds alright. I'm gonna check the next one. That one sounds a bit too short. That one sounds alright. Just might need a bit of molding. Now, it is overly thumpy, so you might want to adjust the decay on that. So see. Okay, next thing is looking for a snare to layer over. Maybe we'll just go keep it simple, look for a vengeance snare. That sounds alright. Slide it over to my snare channel. Notice that every time I start a track, I have a default template with a kick, snare, hi-hat. Just makes things easier. Now I'm going to adjust the level of the kick to match amen. Lastly, we're going to find a hi-hat that'll go. I'm just looking for something nice and sharp to accentuate the overheads that are already there in the Amen. That one sounds alright already. I'll just pull those two in. That sounds nice too. That one kind of has a stereo effect to it, so it might be nice for layering. Right. Just gonna put it on every 8th note. Now you might add a different one to go with the snare. It's just to accentuate what's already there in the Amen. And lastly, we're gonna EQ the Amen, my favorite part. What we're gonna do is we're gonna pull out one of my favorite EQ plugins, the FabFilter Pro Q. Has a nice smooth sound to it, really fat. Now I turn on the analyze here for post EQ just to show me what frequencies are being attenuated. Also to see what frequencies are currently in the Amen's spectrum. I usually cut out the lows on the kick just because we have our own kick. I'm going to bring up the highs. What I'm trying to do is bring out that sparkle on the ultra high end, so that's anywhere from like 12K around there. Usually probably should have a shelf. I bring it further back around 8 or 9K when you're using a shelf. But really you're just hitting the high frequencies around 11, 12K. Next you raise around probably around 4K area. The trick is to use a wider Q. So you're covering a wider area. The reason for this is you're not doing precision EQing here. You're more bringing up a general area in sound. Right. Next, I go around. Now I'm gonna work on the mids. Now here I might want to narrow down the Q a bit because I want to focus in and zone in on that snare. So that's looking like around 15 to 1600 hertz. Now I might do a dip on the boxy areas. Just so it doesn't sound so muffled. I might even experiment with adding a slight reverb tail on the kick so it trails out a little more. See how that works out. It's all about experimenting. Now with reverb, especially on kicks, you want to try to remove the lower frequencies. Really, we just want some reverb tail on the upper lows, right? So I'm just filtering out those super low frequencies from the reverb tail. hear how the other kicks sound. Doesn't sound too bad, actually. The way I like to layer the individual drum hits is I like to tuck it under the amen, so that's why I bring it all the way down, right? And I slowly bring it up until I just hear that sound, right? Okay, so lastly, I group the 4 tracks, right? And now I'm gonna add a group compressor, some possibly a drum bus compressor, or there's something I've been trying out, thanks to my good friend 0=0. This really cool compressor. It just makes things sound very warm. Almost has an analog sound to it. One thing I forgot was that I'm gonna add a reverb onto the amen just to give it a little more air around those hits. This is something that's done a little bit. For example, the amen used in the tune Curse or Coincidence by Paradox has a very nicely amen sound with a reverb on it. And you don't want to overdo it, and again you want to cut out the low frequency, so I'm going to turn on this low cut, take out the low frequencies. All I really want is to add reverb to the mids and highs. Play a bit with the pre-delay. You just want to tuck that wet amount just so you hear it, just before it becomes noticeably audible. If that even makes sense. Okay, once you're happy with your amen, then I'm going to create an audio track, and I'm going to bring out my inputs and outputs, and then I'm going to select my group, and then I'm going to record it. Now all you really need is that one bar. Now I'm going to mute the entire group. Check out what we recorded. So we can cut up this amen. Oh. Just gonna do a quick cut here. Nothing too fancy. So essentially what we've done is we've resampled the amen. Well, what we've created, and now we can use it for whatever purpose. Right, so I've just added on my warp markers, right click, slice to new MIDI track, create one slice per warp marker, boom, don't need that one piece there, let's make it 2 bars. Do one of these. this. It's all about the intricacies. Actually, the reverb on this snare requires these hits. And there you go. You have a nice little amen to play with. Now you can check the description box below, and if you want this amen, you can download it. Until next time, peace out.